Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jeff. On behalf of StriveScan and the 4 high schools in St. Louis, I want to welcome you to our virtual college fair this evening. We will be hearing from 6 institutions tonight: the University of Rochester, Hobart and William Smith Colleges, the College of Wooster, Northeastern University, Babson College, and Boston University. As a reminder to those in attendance, your cameras are turned off and your microphones are muted, but you can ask questions at any time through the Q&A box below. You do not have to wait for the specific institution to present to ask questions, and they can answer them at any time. Without further ado, I will turn it over to the University of Rochester.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Zach. I am an admissions counselor at the University of Rochester. Happy to be joining us this evening. I'm going to share my screen here real quick to make sure that I can give a little bit of information in our time that we have together. All right. All right. So we are the University of Rochester. We are located about 20 minutes south of Lake Ontario in upstate or Western New York. Most of our undergraduate students spend their time on our river campus. It is aptly named as we have the Genesee River that runs on 3 different sides of our campus. Also on the river campus, for those of you that have other interests, we have our Hajam School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, our business school, as well as our Warner School of Education. In the lower right-hand corner, which I'll move into this slide, you can see our medical center. The University of Rochester's medical center is pretty much right across the street from the river campus. So we have plenty of undergraduate students that participate in research, internships, volunteer experiences, shadowing of physicians, things like that, right across the street at the medical center. One other piece of our umbrella at the University of Rochester that some of you may be familiar with or interested in is our Eastman School of Music. The Eastman School of Music is about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on time of day, away from our river campus, located more in downtown Rochester. It has a separate admissions office, but we do have a dual degree program with Eastman where students can pursue both a conservatory music degree with them and a traditional bachelor's degree in arts, sciences, or engineering on our river campus. In addition to seeing kind of where we're located, again, in upstate or Western New York, I'd like to tell you a little bit about who we are and what is a little bit unique about the University of Rochester. So our values, Meliora, which roughly or loosely translates to ever better, and our motto of learn, discover, heal, create, and make the world ever better. Typically we have a little video clip, but in the interest of time, I'll kind of skip past that. I would encourage you to join us for a full-length info session and see that video clip of current students talking about how Meliora is exemplified on our campus, as well as kind of what that term means to students once they've kind of arrived and had a chance to fully experience the university. One of the things that I think is most unique about the University of Rochester is our curriculum. So, as you begin to look more and more at colleges and begin to try and have a better understanding of what sticks out in certain locations, hopefully our curriculum will stick out to many of you, as we do have our major requirements, just like any other university that you'll hear from. We do have a writing requirement, which is largely meant to make sure that you're familiar with resources and libraries and research experiences on campus. And then we have what we call a cluster at the university. So a cluster is a group of 3 thematically related courses. And we ask students to take a cluster in the opposite 2 areas that they do not major in. So if you major in the humanities, we would ask you to take a cluster in both the social sciences and the natural sciences before you graduate. A little bit of numbers about the university. We have about a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio, typically about 5,500 or so undergraduates on campus. 95% of our students have a chance to participate in an internship before they graduate. We have partnerships, although not so much this year, but partnerships with 40+ study abroad countries around the world. Almost half of our students will double major before they graduate, and largely that's because of the flexibility in our curriculum. Students will take those clusters that I mentioned and build them into a second major. And we want students to continue to study what they love. So we have two programs that students sometimes stick around for after they've graduated, which is Take 5 and E5. These are both tuition-free 5th years of study. For Take 5, it's a chance to study something you did not have a chance to study during your 4 years. And for E5, it's a chance to pursue an entrepreneurial project that you wanted to pursue, but didn't have much of time to during your 4 years. At the University of Rochester, we are a Tier 1 research institution, so about 77%, a little over 3/4 of our students will participate in research before they graduate, which again, hopefully is unique and stands out in comparison with larger institutions. It's an opportunity for students to really get exposed to their professors with that faculty to student ratio, and then often participating on research teams as an undergraduate throughout their 4 years. Our class of 2019, we just finished looking at this last May, so we're hoping to update these statistics with our class of 2020 this May, but a 96% post-graduation placement rate. So about 40% of our students from the class of 2019 said a year later that they were continuing their education. 56% said they were working in a field of interest, and only 4% said they were still looking. 90% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. We are a residential institution. We have 23 Division III athletics teams for those of you that are interested in sports, and more than 300 plus student organizations. I figured in our last couple of minutes here, I'd wrap up with some pictures of what campus looks like, and encourage all of you to get out to the University of Rochester in person and really take a look here over the next few months. In the upper left-hand corner, you can see inside our Rush Reese Library. In the upper right-hand corner, you can see our Interfaith Chapel. In the lower left-hand corner, you can see our iZone. And in the lower right-hand corner, you can see one of our dining halls on campus. And I know that Jeff's going to ask us a question towards the end about traditions, so I'll save my answer for then. But I did want to show a couple images of traditions at the University of Rochester. Winterfest in the upper left-hand corner. Yes, it snows quite a bit. It is cold here in upstate and Western New York, but we're dealing with some great spring weather at this point. And then you can see a few other images there as well. But like I said, I'll save my response on traditions for the very end. And as Jeff wraps us up, I'll just go ahead and put this slide up for a second. If any of you would like to reach out and find out a little bit more about the university, please feel free to contact us. You can see the email address there, as well as logging in and visiting for your counselor. I would be your counselor. So I'll provide my email address for a little bit later on as well. So thank you, Jeff, for your time, and thank you guys for listening, and love to help with any questions you may have this evening.
Thanks, Zachary. Appreciate that very much. Next up, we'll invite Hobart and William Smith colleges to present.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time today. My name is Max Gorton, and I serve as Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at Hobart and William Smith Colleges in Geneva, New York. Today, what we hope to cover in just a few short minutes are really, a big picture overview of Hobart and William Smith, including the academics, the study abroad, career services, and then kind of life outside of the classroom. So hope it's been a great day. It's beginning to feel like spring in the Finger Lakes. So let me share my screen and we will get into our presentation. Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first slide that we are kind of looking at is a kind of aerial view of campus. Now, we are geographically located in Geneva, New York, which is a small city of 12,000 people, and we are centrally located between Rochester, Syracuse, and Ithaca. And what I like about this slide is it introduces our slogan, which is "You're thinking about your future, and so are we." Recognizing that your first few years of college, you're likely going to be considering what are the day-to-day aspects of life going to be like? What am I studying? What opportunities are available outside the classroom? But then another conversation comes up later on. It's like, what happens after? So we like to address both the questions. And so that is our slogan. Without further ado, I kind of want to introduce this idea of the academic framework at Hobart and William Smith. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are 45 majors and 68 minors as a critical thinking liberal arts college. And I can tell you, as a semi-recent graduate, there's absolutely no incorrect way to navigate the curriculum. There's just one required class, which is the first year seminar. And it's really just a course taught by a professor who thinks it's a cool subject. Seminars from this year, one was about the history of rock and roll, one was about golf course architecture. My seminar was called Avian Persuasion, and we studied birds all throughout the semester. And it's interesting because the way that you're placed into the seminar, you tell the first year dean's office what your interests are, and then you're hand placed into classes accordingly. And the reason it's relevant today to share with you all is your first year seminar professor is your first advisor, and this individual will help you navigate the curriculum until you declare at least a major and a minor. You can double major or major double minor. And what I think a lot of students appreciate about Hobart and William Smith is that you've got a year and a half to declare at least a major and a minor, recognizing a lot of students show up knowing what they like, but maybe they could appreciate a little bit of time. Most people will study economics, architecture, environmental studies, pre-health, and entrepreneurial studies at Hobart and William Smith. Those are some of our more prominent programs. And we also operate under a series of goals that guide and steer the curriculum. So at Hobart and William Smith, you'll have to take a class that surrounds critical thinking, communication, quantitative reasoning, scientific inquiry, artistic process, and you can see the others listed. I think the neat piece to share about the goal system is that everybody takes a different class to satisfy their goal. For the artistic expression class, I mean, that could be an architecture class, that could be a English class, it could be, ballet, creative writing, it just doesn't matter. So in addition to having at least a major and a minor, you'll fulfill these series of goal courses along the way, which kind of guide and steer the curriculum. Awesome. And that's just a nice segue into our study abroad programs. Now, in a normal non-COVID year, Hobart and William Smith has 50 programs to go to 35 countries on 6 continents. And I won't name all the locations, but a few of those places that you can see here are Italy, Austria, France, Germany, Ecuador, Chile, Peru, Russia, Thailand, more recently established programs in Morocco. And we did have a question in the chat I wanted to address. At Hobart and William Smith, you can attend a study abroad program that's outside of your major and a minor because we have that series of goals that guide and steer the curriculum. So it's interesting because it's not a requirement to study abroad at Hobart and William Smith, but it aligns with our mission of creating global citizens. So we hope students will do that at some point, and around 60% of our students will study abroad. The last few pieces about our study abroad programs, whatever you study counts directly for your credit to graduate, and all the finances travel, whether a student receives a merit scholarship or financial aid, all those figures translate seamlessly. So that's what we've got going on for our study abroad programs. And the next piece I wanted to take a minute to unpack is the Career Services Center. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a program called Pathways, which essentially develops a profile surrounding each individual's interests, values, skill sets, goals, and core competencies. And once an individual's profile or brand is developed, you're eligible for a guaranteed paid internship or research opportunity, which I think a lot of students have appreciated, given that it's an opportunity to try a job or career field before you graduate. So it's something that our students really enjoy. And there are also short-term trips if you wanted to check out any industries. You can see these pictures here. One is Day on Wall Street. We send students to Boston, Day on the Hill in Washington, D.C. The Environmental Studies program will go to Boston. So there are multiple opportunities to get out into the field to just kind of gain exposure in different industries if it's important to you. And it doesn't have to be kind of in your major or minor. So that's what we have. We're really a career-oriented liberal arts college, and students are welcome to start taking advantage of the Pathways program as soon as they're comfortable. These are a few of the institutions that we have relationships with, and I'll tell you, there are no incorrect outcomes to a liberal arts education. I mean, people end up in finance, become actors, actresses, poets, doctors, surgeons. I mean, there's just no wrong answer. So, but these are some of the past results that we've seen at Hobart and William Smith. Awesome. And, outside of the classroom, it's interesting. I don't think Hobart and William Smith is much different than any other small liberal arts college. We do have 23 varsity sports. We've got Division I Hobart lacrosse, which is one of our bigger name brands, followed by many strong Division III programs. It's interesting. We have around 35% student athletes, but then there's also a strong intramural and club culture, given we have so many wonderful colleges near us that students enjoy participation in as well. And in the clubs and activities piece, if there's not a club or activity that exists that you want to participate in, you have the agency as a student at Hobart and William Smith to start the club or organization. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. My name is Max Gore, and we greatly appreciate your time today. And if we can assist you in any facet of your college search, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope we enjoy the remainder of the program. Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate that. Again, to students, I know some of you are already asking questions, but feel free to ask as we go along. Next up, we have the College of Wooster.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good evening. I'm Stephanie Stuck. I'm one of the associate directors here at the College of Wooster, located in Northeast Ohio. Let me go ahead and get my screen shared here. All right. So I want you to keep this image in mind here because I am going to talk about it a little bit later. This building is a very important kind of icon on campus. It's called Cal Hall. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining this evening. We do have a QR code here if you do want to receive a little more information about Wooster. And of course, we can correspond and follow up anytime after this point. So I just want to go over kind of a few of our hallmarks here at Wooster. We have three kind of takeaways that I'm hoping that you leave here with this evening, especially for those of you who may already have Wooster on your list, all the way to those who maybe haven't heard of the College of Wooster before. So we are known as America's premier college for mentored undergraduate research. So at Wooster, every single student completes a year-long research project under the mentorship of one of our faculty members. So I'll be talking about that. We are a global campus with a thriving community, lots of fun traditions, lots of diversity on campus. So I'm happy to share a little bit more about that. And we are really proud of the city of Worcester in which we're located. And so there's a lot to do around the area that supports student life and service learning, and also career exploration and internships. And so first I want to touch on mentored research and what that means at Wooster. So Wooster is a liberal arts and sciences college with just over 2,000 students. We are very intentional about that size of campus. We believe it's the ideal size to provide the type of kind of residential and academic learning environment that best prepares students for life after graduation. So our average class size is about 18 students, and you can see here our student to teacher ratio. And so our professors are really committed to our students. They want you to come to their office hours. They want to know about what's going on in your classes that maybe aren't related to your major. What are you learning? How are you connecting those ideas together? Their number one priority is offering that high touch mentoring and excellent teaching for our students at Wooster. So classes will be very interactive and most are discussion based. And so we make sure that every single Wooster student, not just students in certain majors or in honors programs, but every student completes at least one major research project prior to graduation, and that is the independent study. Now, this is required of students throughout their senior year, and it's actually one of your classes that you will take in the fall and spring semester. But it's a class of one. And so you're still taking a few of your other classes to kind of complete your degree at Wooster during your senior year. But during that class time for your independent study, you're meeting one-on-one with your faculty mentor to kind of brainstorm, come up with your topic that you want to study. What have you been learning as you've progressed through those 3 years leading up to your senior year? What are you passionate about? What do you want to explore further? Maybe you traveled somewhere abroad or had an internship and that really kind of got you excited about a certain topic. They're going to help you kind of create that into a project and develop a research question, and then spend those weeks meeting with them, kind of diving into that question, gathering data, analyzing data. It can be experimental, it can be creative, analytical, or it can be a combination of all three. And so these are just a few examples of last year's graduating class and what they did in certain various disciplines. And so you can see that they really can be very focused and very kind of exciting and intentional, very related to your interests. And so hopefully some of these maybe stand out to you or getting you thinking of what you might want to do if you would decide to come to Wooster. But if you don't know, that's okay too. Students don't have to declare a major until the end of their sophomore year at Wooster. So you have plenty of time to explore your interests and decide kind of where your passions lie and what kinds of things you want to kind of connect together. And so I just want to make sure to talk about the campus a little bit. And so we are a fully residential campus. So over 99% of our students do live here on campus. We have all 4 seasons here in Northeast Ohio. And so it's a lot of fun. We just had snow last week, and tomorrow it's supposed to be 80 degrees. So that doesn't happen all the time, but this is the time of year where we're kind of seeing that, that up and down. And it makes campus really fun because students might come out in their shorts the day after it had snowed on campus. And so, so being a fully residential campus, we really want to kind of bring the student body together and make sure that they are learning from one another. And so here's just a quick breakdown of some of the geographic diversity that we have on campus. So about a third of our students come from Ohio, but the rest of our students are representing almost all 50 states and 65 countries on campus. So we are very proud to be one of the most kind of internationalized liberal arts colleges with 17% international students on our campus. And we also have representation from 24% domestic students of color. So we really think that it's special to have students from all over the world who really embrace each other's differences and who also want to learn from one another. We definitely have over 100 student organizations and clubs to choose from. And so anything from music ensembles, which we do also have scholarships even for non-music majors for those interested in those ensembles, varsity athletics, 23 varsity teams, and performing arts, which we also have scholarships available for students interested in the performing arts and not majoring in it as well. And then just some quick facts about the city of Worcester, city of about 30,000 residents. We are not in Massachusetts like many of the other colleges here tonight. So there is a city named Worcester in Massachusetts, but that is not us. We are here in Ohio. So we'd be happy to have you kind of come visit and see what we're all about. Very service oriented too. And so, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions and talk more about Worcester with you, whether it's this evening or in the future. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephanie. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Northeastern University.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining. Give me just a minute to share my screen. Hang on just a sec. I'm not sure why this isn't coming up for me. All right, hang on one sec. I'm sorry. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes, we can, Mark.
All right, great. Let me just jump into my correct view. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so Northeastern University is located in Boston, Massachusetts. We are right in the heart of the city. We are about a 10-minute walk from Fenway Park. We are about a 10-second walk from the Museum of Fine Arts that is right across the street. We are sort of sandwiched between the South End, the Fenway neighborhood, and the Roxbury neighborhood. But as you can see in this picture, despite being a very urban campus, we do have quite a bit of open green space for students to get out and to enjoy. And we certainly encourage everyone to do so. So if there's one thing that I think sets Northeastern apart as you're considering schools is our experiential learning model. And a lot of people, it's a big focus of ours, and people will say, gee, why experiential learning? And I always say it answers the questions, why am I learning this? When am I ever going to use it again? And we're going to get more into experiential learning in a moment, but just understand your learning will take place in the classroom some days, but you'll be in the laboratory. You'll be in the workplace. You will be across the United States and around the world. So when we say experiential learning, we're very serious about it. Now, in general, with Northeastern, we try to create an opportunity for students to have a lot of control over how their experience goes. So we have 7 undergraduate colleges plus the Explore program. The Explore program is our undecided program in which you can be for a semester or 2 full years. You could try out 2 majors. You could try out a dozen majors. It's really going to be up to what you want to get out of it. When you're applying to Northeastern, you can apply to essentially any program that you want, or you can apply to be undeclared. We have 175 majors, and from those, we've developed 130 combined majors. And those combined majors allow students to really have a double focus and a dual degree, but do it within a 4-year window and still have the opportunity to do co-op, to study abroad, to do all the other things that they want to do while they're with us. And we're able to do that because we've combined a lot of the classes where you can share electives. You can even share some of your core curriculum. So it's a great way to mix and match what you want to do. Also, changing majors at Northeastern takes about 5 minutes. It's built into our system to be very, very flexible. NU Path is essentially it's a competency-based system that you can go in, plug your major into our NU Path website and see exactly what you're going to be taking over the next 4 years. Before we get into experiential learning, some of the great academic things, we have about a 14-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 7 out of 10 classes have 20 students. We have a very well-supported, well-planned out honors program. It allows students to live in an honors cohort in one of our brand new residence halls. It allows for a lot of extra academic programming, a lot of extra excursions. It's a great program. So now jumping into experiential learning that I said I wanted to come back to. We do have over 3,000 co-op partners. Co-op essentially is when you are similar to an internship, but you are working full-time in a 6-month setting. In any major we offer, you can have multiple co-op opportunities. We offer many global experiences, which include global co-ops, in addition to traditional study abroad opportunities. We have multiple service opportunities going from traditional community service to service learning opportunities where you'd have a traditional credit bearing class with a service component. And we're also a tier 1 research facility. Research includes more than just the hard sciences. We have research happening in history, in English, in theater. All of our majors have multiple research opportunities, as well as having multiple co-op opportunities. You may co-op in Boston, you may co-op in New York, you may co-op in Barcelona or Hong Kong. Some of that's been limited this year with COVID, but our goal is to have everyone up and running and literally running around the world like they typically are at Northeastern. Just a few quick things about Northeastern. As far as life on campus, we do offer over 400 student clubs and activities. We have 18 Division I sports teams. One of our recent claims to fame is our a cappella group, the Nor'easters. For anyone who has watched Pitch Perfect, we have won the international championship 3 years now. So there are a lot of different ways to experience Northeastern. And I'm definitely running out of time, so I want to give it back to my colleagues. But if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them later. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Babson College.
Wonderful. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so welcome to Babson College. I am so excited to be spending part of my evening with you all. Babson College is located about 14 miles outside of the city of Boston. So we went from Northeastern, we just moved outside the city to Wellesley, Massachusetts. If you're not familiar or heard of Babson College, we are a business school. We are a school that is located, as I said, right outside the city. We are the best of both worlds, where you have a residential, safe, and welcoming community in Wellesley and easy access to the city of Boston. But what we're most well known for is our #1 ranking in entrepreneurship. We have been ranked #1 for the best school in entrepreneurship for the last 24 years and counting. And it's something that we're really proud of and sets us apart from other institutions, especially in the business area. But at Babson, we really want to make sure that students understand what entrepreneurship means. Entrepreneurship of all kinds truly means that you don't have to just start a business to be considered an entrepreneur. At Babson, we teach entrepreneurial leadership. It's a mindset. How do you take a problem or something that you're seeing in your local community or in the business world and solve that in an innovative way? It's about hands-on learning, experiential opportunities in the classroom, and understanding how to take that entrepreneurial and innovative mindset into any area of business. Of course, our students are students that are successful within starting their own businesses, but many move on to areas like finance and accounting, marketing, just to name a few. The other thing that makes Babson a bit unique is the fact that we blend business with the liberal arts. So 50% of our courses at Babson College are in business, while 50% are in the liberal arts and sciences. So it's extremely important to us that you have both a business education and a liberal arts education at the same time. It's really important to help you become a more effective business leader. We're also unique in the fact that every student graduates with a Bachelor of Science that is grounded in business and entrepreneurship, but you don't have a major. We have 27 different concentrations that range from areas like finance, accounting, marketing, international business, all the way to the liberal arts like sustainability, legal studies, historical and political studies. So you really have the opportunity to expand your horizon at Babson with a business education blended with the liberal arts. We're also part of the BOW collaboration, which stands for Babson College, Olin College of Engineering, and Wellesley College. All three of our institutions have partnered together to allow students to take one course every semester with either Olin College of Engineering or Wellesley. So you can really expand beyond the curriculum even offered at the college. One of the hallmark experiences that happen at Babson is the opportunity to start your own business. That's right. You have the opportunity to create your own business by launching it in our Foundations of Management and Entrepreneurship course. We gave every student $3,000 to launch this business. You get to see it from idea all the way to liquidation in your first year at Babson. So it's truly an experience you'll never forget, and allow you to understand what entrepreneurship really means and experience other parts of the business world in a real world setting with real money. We're also an institution that celebrates diversity of all kinds. So here at Babson, you'll be able to collaborate and innovate with students from around the country and all over the world. So we have students coming from almost all 50 states. Currently at Babson, we have students from 78 countries. Our alumni network is considered and filled with students from over 115 nations. About 27% of our student body is international. And you have the opportunity to join over 100 clubs and activities that celebrate others' identities, or join varsity athletic teams. We have 22 Division III varsity athletic teams at the college. So you really have the opportunity to collaborate and learn from people from all around the world. The other thing that's really important about the Babson experience is what you're going to do when you graduate. It seems like a far thinking right now. Right now you're worried about what college you're going to go to, but it's important that you make a smart investment. 99% of our graduates of the class of 2020 were either employed or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. We've been consistently ranked the #1 private business college for salary potential since 2015. And our average starting salary for the class of 2020 was over $62,000 when you graduate. Babson is bringing employers to campus throughout the year, over 500 every single year. So we have the connections to help you, whether it's with an internship or your career experience when you graduate. Babson is also an affordable institution, so we do meet 100% of a student's demonstrated need. We're one of only a few institutions, colleges and universities around the country that does guarantee 100% demonstrated need. We are also a need-blind institution for US domestic students. So we're really reviewing you and your academic credentials. We also want to make sure that you know that Babson College is a test optional institution. We will be test optional for the next 3 academic years. So 2022, 23, and 24. So there are 4 ways that you can apply to our institution. We have early decision 1 and 2, early action, and regular decision. So I hope you were able to learn a little bit more about what makes Babson College special. We are the place for entrepreneurial leaders, and we hope that you learned something more this evening. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate that. Next up, we have Boston University.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I, like my other awesome institutions here, am going to share my screen. My name is Dan Turner, and I am an assistant director on the Board of Admissions here at Boston University. I am not the regional representative for St. Louis, but I will definitely share my colleague Griffin's information in the screen. And tonight, I'm definitely happy to help answer any questions that you guys have, and even beyond tonight as well. So Boston University, also located in Massachusetts in the wonderful city of Boston. We are a large private teaching and research university, and we do have a residential campus as well in the center of the city in the Fenway-Kenmore neighborhood. We guarantee housing for all 4 years for our students, and actually about 3/4 of them do live on campus for all 4 years. So it is a really nice residential community that we have here in the middle of the city, with really great transportation options as well to connect you with all of the different resources, activities, and other things that Boston has to offer. And this is actually a picture from one of our dorm rooms. So just really amazing residential opportunities here at Boston University. We are, like I said, a larger university, though not huge as far as national averages go. We have about 16,000 undergraduates across our 10 undergraduate schools and colleges. And we have students from all 50 states here at Boston University, as well as over 120 countries. We actually had 170 countries in our applicant pool this year. So I'm really hoping that that number will go up. You truly are surrounded by people from all different experiences, backgrounds, walks of life when you're in the classroom here at BU. And we have 300+ programs of study and a lot of academic flexibility as well. Though we do have 10 undergraduate schools, you're definitely free to mix and match, to take courses that interest you across, even if it's not the college you're majoring in, and to combine all of the opportunities available into your own unique academic pathway. I mentioned at the beginning, we are a teaching and research university. Our professors would not be here if they didn't love to teach. We have a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of 27. About 70% of our classes are below 30 students. And so you really have that opportunity to get to know our amazing professors on that one-to-one level. They're amazing, by the way. They're Pulitzer Prize winners, MacArthur Genius Fellows, Nobel laureates, former members of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and former ambassadors around the world as well. So no matter what you're studying, you definitely have that real world experience with you in the classroom. And the variety of interests that our students bring to the table definitely strengthens our academic community as well. But we are a research university as well, so our professors also wouldn't be here if they didn't love the research support that the university provides. Last year, we brought in over $500 million with a B dollars in research funding, and our faculty were published over 6,000 times, so more than 10 times each day. And that research really makes a tremendous impact all around the world. Just for a quick example, is we're one of only 2 universities in the country who have the lab resources available to do research on the real COVID-19 virus in our National Emerging Infectious Diseases Laboratory on our medical center campus. And we're looking at some of the reasons why the virus affects some people so severely while leaving other people without any symptoms at all, and actually have already published 5 papers along those lines, hoping to bring some therapies to clinics and hospitals around the world starting this year. So really innovative, impactful research goes on every day here at Boston University, and undergraduates have funding available to do research right alongside our award-winning professors as well. So over $1 million each year just in undergraduate research dollars. through our undergraduate research opportunities program. We also have an innovation pathway that does provide funding for students who are more entrepreneurial minded as well. Get your startup and invention off the ground, bring it to life. As far as our study abroad opportunities go, I know we had a question in the Q&A about study abroad. At Boston University, you can study abroad no matter what your major is and still graduate within 4 years. We have programs all around the world, over 80 programs in 20 countries. Sorry, I didn't mean to go ahead. But our study abroad is one of the oldest in the country, and it definitely will not delay your graduation. And there are several majors that do have embedded programs. Just one, I mean, if you're interested in pre-med or engineering, those are two academic areas where it might be difficult to study abroad at a lot of institutions, but we do offer in Madrid, Spain, as well as Sydney, Australia, opportunities to study our engineering and our pre-med curriculums in that international context, which is really amazing. We do guarantee internships as well through our abroad programs, and we also have connections all around the country and the world really for paid internships. 90% of BU students do an internship over their 4 years of study at BU. And we get really amazing employment outcomes as well. 96% of our students were employed or in graduate school in their field of interest for last year's graduating class, and Times Higher Education ranked BU graduates number 14 in the US as far as most employable students go after graduation. And our community is really vibrant as well. There's lots of opportunities to find smaller communities within the larger university. We have 450 student clubs and organizations. NCAA Division I sports compete in the Patriot League, so lots of traditions there. And one of the most successful college hockey programs in the country. I know that Mark Donnelly, might contest that a little bit, but the rivalries in Boston just make those traditions and hockey programs so much more fun to go to. So there's a picture of that. Just a couple of dates, but those are on our websites as well. We do meet 100% of demonstrated need as far as financial aid goes, and really a big commitment to affordability at Boston University. So 92% of our financial aid dollars go to need-based financial aid programs. There's my email address at the bottom. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Definitely check out our social media pages as well. We just launched a TikTok account last week. So it's not on the slide yet. I've got to get it up there, but check out Boston University admissions on TikTok, and definitely put in any questions you have for us in that Q&A chat at the bottom. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. Well, I want to invite all the representatives back on camera here quickly before we wrap up. As a couple of them alluded to, one of the things I like to do at the end of the presentation is to ask them kind of a fun question. And so what I've asked them tonight is to give us their favorite event or tradition on their campus. And so we will go in order of presentation. So Zach at Rochester will start us off.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I think that probably my favorite would be our Wilson Day, which takes place typically right around orientation time in August. It's an opportunity for students. There's always the fun aspects to it. It's a very carnival-y scenario, but there's also the bigger aspects, whereas it's an opportunity for students, particularly freshmen, to get out and get engaged with our community in the city of Rochester, to do some community service work, volunteerism, and really get to know the community in which they're going to be staying for the next 4 years. So great chance for freshmen during orientation, and then sort of a bigger, nice carnival atmosphere for the rest of the students for the rest of the weekend.
Very fun. And then what about Hobart and William Smith colleges?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. I think my favorite tradition has got to be an orientation. Incoming students will shake the president's hands upon arrival. And what I like about this tradition is that you'll meet the president 4 years later in the same spot. Above the quote, embedded in a brick that reads, "The ends pre-exist in the means." And that to me is what my favorite is.
Very fun, Max. Thank you. What about Wooster? Stephanie, apologize.
Yeah, so lots of fun traditions at Wooster. My favorite is IS Monday, which is the day that all of the seniors' independent study projects are due to our registrar's office. And so they have until 5 p.m. to turn those in. When they turn them in, they get a Tootsie Roll, which has a little bit of a longer story behind it, so I won't share that one. And a lot of them, of course, get pictures with their friends, and then they actually, there's a parade then at 5:00 p.m. where all of the faculty and staff and the underclassmen come out and cheer on the seniors for completing this big project and hand out candy, and the seniors wear costumes and t-shirts that they've made. So it's a lot of fun and great energy on campus. And they're also led in the parade by our bagpipers, because we are rooted in Scottish heritage. And so we do have bagpipers at all of our major campus events.
Andy could get me to go back to college. I like that idea. So very nice. What about Northeastern University? What do you got for us?
So I think the most fun tradition at Northeastern is called Husky Hunt. And the students designed this. They've been doing it for about 15 years. Husky Hunt is run by the upperclassmen. They break students into teams of about 8 or 10, and it's a 24-hour scavenger hunt all across the city of Boston and greater Boston, where students get clues and they're running all over the city all night and they're solving puzzles. And it is just amazing. Every year, the faculty and the staff try to get invited. Every year they say no, it is still students only, and it is absolutely amazing. Second best thing is beating BU in hockey.
There we go. Couldn't not let that go by. There we go. Great English, Jeff. Babson, Jared, what do you got for us before I ruin it for everybody else?
There are so many wonderful traditions at Babson, but I would say one of the fun ones is Tackle the Table. It is a senior tradition before you head into finals week, where we actually make in the trim dining hall at our campus pancakes the size of tables. You get a short stack of those pancakes, and they sit around the table and try to tackle the table, finish the pancakes, and complete the challenge. It has been done only a few times in history, even with the large class of students that are around the table trying to do that. But it's something that is just rooted in our history, exciting, fun. And I'll tell you, students feel not so great when they finish, but it is something that they have to do before they leave the college.
That's wonderful. Again, food, I'm all over it. So for Mark, unfortunately, the last up is Boston University. So what do you have for us, Dan?
Yeah, I appreciate Mark's comment, because that's probably my second favorite tradition is the Beanpot Hockey Tournament, where the 4 major Boston area hockey programs compete against each other to see who the best program in the city is each year. It's always really fun, really rowdy crowds. Really almost can't be beat, except I do have to say my favorite BU tradition in particular is the pumpkin drop, which happens around Halloween each year. And it's basically put on by our physics department, and they fill up pumpkins with all different types of materials like water or sand, paint, and clay, and they launch them off the 6th floor of their building and onto Commonwealth Avenue below. And so it's always really fun, makes a huge mess, and it's a great way to kind of celebrate fall arriving in New England.
Very fun, very fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun this evening. Certainly want to thank all of our panelists for their time and presentation skills. For those in attendance, appreciate you being a part of this. If questions were not answered, they will get answered later. All the representatives do get transcripts of this event. On behalf of StriveScan and the 6 institutions, we certainly thank you for your attendance tonight. Best wishes on your college choice and decision in the process, and everybody certainly stay safe. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.